Hello everyone and welcome to Money's Worth. Today we look at FlyKnight with a base price of €5.95. I set out to play it for 6 hours or until I completed the game. I beat FlyKnight in 4.3 hours. Let's take a look at the gameplay and content and then I will give my opinion of the game. Let's go. In this Souls-like game we play as a fly who is fighting to become a knight. You wake up finding a weapon among your fallen allies. You then have to fight through dungeons to find the evil witch Lunamoth and defeat her. Fighting in FlyKnight is all about stamina management. Almost every action you make uses stamina. The only thing that doesn't is walking and standing still. After some time not using stamina, it starts to regenerate. Your attacks are directional and every weapon shows you which direction it can attack. Swords swing from side to side and spears do a forward stab motion. Every weapon can block and counter attacks. If you hold the right mouse button, you block. And if you press left click when an enemy is mid-attack, you will stagger them. While staggered, enemies can be knocked over with a kick. You can use a bow that has a wind-up mechanic. It is very useful against certain types of enemies. Armor has 4 kinds of defenses that protect against different enemies' attacks. Better the stats, the more the armor weighs. You can find spells that use mana to cast and they also spend some stamina. Armor, weapons and spells have a weight to them and the more weight you equip, the slower you move, so you also have to manage that. Rings give small buffs, like defeating enemy grants mana. Enemies vary from bugs with very simple attacks to beasts with flying strikes that are harder to anticipate. Enemies are not so hard to fight on their own, but when multiple enemies starts coming at you, you have to use more stamina and defense, so it's harder to get attacks in. If you see yourself getting low on life, you can restore some by drinking from your flask. Your flask has 4 charges. You find bonfires along the way. These work as checkpoints and you can travel between them once discovered. Resting at a bonfire will restore life and mana and fill your potion, but will respawn all enemies. At every bonfire there is a chest where you can stash the equipment you don't use at the moment. You can also do a little fishing in the game. Each fish has specific buffs that can help you out. You can have up to 5 fish in your inventory at a time and use them when needed to for a little buff. The gameplay is simple but works really well. Let's see if the content is just as good. If you like my review, consider hitting that subscribe button to get notified of my new videos. Thank you. The campaign is about 4 hours and is set in 3 locations. There is nothing to guide you through the dungeons, so you have to keep track of where you have been to not run in circles. There are some places where you drop down a ledge that do not allow you to get back up, so that is a small help. Each dungeon feels a little different with somewhat of a theme to them. Everything is made very simplistic, but it still manages to change the atmosphere of each dungeon, still keeping the darkness in every level. There are also boss fights in this game, but as always, I won't spoil any of that. If you want to, you can start an online game and play with friends or other players. I only tried it for a short while to see if it worked and then I finished the campaign on my own. There is not much more to say about the content. Let's move on to the ratings. FlyKnight is very simple, but it works. But even if it is simple, it's not that easy because of stamina and weight systems. It keeps the fights engaging since you can't just hit over and over again. Of course, there are some small bugs here and there, but overall, FlyKnight is super cool. I rate the gameplay a 4 out of 5. The amount of content in this game is actually impressive for such a small game. The campaign is not that long, but there is a lot of items to try out. The addition of a 3-player co-op is incredible for such a small game, and it brings the rating up since you can drag your friends through this short adventure. I rate the content a 4 out of 5. FlyKnight is at the super cheap end of games at €5.99. It delivers straightforward and great gameplay that is not as simple as it seems. The campaign is short, but it was a fun little adventure for me to get through. There is a lot good to say about FlyKnight, and if you like small games like this, it is well worth the money. I rate the money's worth a 4 out of 5. I hope you found out if FlyKnight could be your money's worth. You can look through my other videos to see if you can find games that will be your money's worth. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.